WTHC. Good morning, everybody. It's 10 o'clock over here on the East Coast, and you know what that means. It's time for Hippie and Dr. High. Hanging out, getting high, talking weed, talking medicine, talking the benefits and the negative. Well, the benefits. I don't want to talk about negatives. The only negative I have, Dr. High, is I tried to squirt that.
Because
I tried to squirt that stuff into the syringe, and it's
yep.
not going. It's not going very well. Should I like
Why?
put it in water, warm water or something to make it looser? Because it's like just getting really sticky and coming clogging up around the top of the thing. It's not going down. It's taking a while for it to go down. So I squirt a little and then I sit there for 40 minutes while it dribbles
No,
down.
I would. What I would do is, do you have a kettle?
Kettle? Yes.
A kettle like where you boil water?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would set the kettle to boil, and where the heat's coming out of the spout of the kettle.
That's what I did. I tried that with not that, but I had a hot cup of coffee here, and I kind of laid my syringe across the top of the hot coffee and let the hot air come on up, try to loosen it up, and it still wasn't going. But I'll do what you're saying, yeah. But I ended up. Go ahead.
Just kind of rotate it around in the steam, right? Or the steam or where the hot air comes from. Right, and give it 2-3 minutes, and then it should really be like much more viscous, right? Much more liquidy.
Looser.
So give that a try.
I have 2 more. Yeah. I ended up putting half of that gram onto a piece of bread and eating it.
No,
nothing yet. Nothing yet. Well, no, I'm sorry, a quarter of a gram, a half of a half. Should I put the whole thing? Because it's been an hour and I still don't feel nothing, and I'm out. I'm out. Like I'm fucked.
I want to know if
fucked.
We're going to. First of all, let me say I'm sorry. I heard what you said earlier while I was listening to the radio. That's a rough couple of days you had there.
About my pussy.
I know it's tough on you and the family.
Yeah,
my condolences for that.
Thank you. We lost 2 pussies in 24 hours. Brother and sister. They were both 17 or so, 18 years old. They were old. Yeah. We knew they were going, but she said, "You're not going first." She had a stroke yesterday, and then last night he died. So they both passed away, and they were both born on the same day, and they both passed away on the same day.
Very freaky. Who knows what connection they have? And they say that you can die of a broken heart. They say this is possible. So maybe it's the same.
It's very possible. He was the one that was really sick, though. He was the one that we were like, all right, he's going. She might have another year or so in her. She's looking pretty good.
They can probably smell it, right? They can probably smell it because
she lives in my daughter's room upstairs, and he lived because they didn't get along for brother and sister. Like they would fight like brother and sister all the time. So my daughter said, I'll just keep her. She can live in my room. She got herself a kitty litter box and food.
Yeah.
One of those window trays that she can go out and sit in the air outside in the window and hang out. And they took care of her, got her a nice cat tree and things, So she lived up there with my daughter for the last 10 years, She's been her cat, and she didn't really come downstairs because we have 4 other cats that are all boys, 3 other cats that are all boys, and they like to harass her. So she stayed up there. She was like, I don't want to hang out with those dudes. But anyway, so he was really sick, and we were like, he's going, but he wasn't in pain. He was kind of just laying there, and you could tell he was getting ready to go, and you were sad. He couldn't walk anymore, but, he didn't look to be in any pain. So we were going to just let him pass restfully, peacefully at home and then have to bury him, like the old days. But now we have an appointment for my other one because my daughter was like, no, I'm having her cremated and I'm getting a paw print and I'm having the whole shit and I'll have a shrine to her in my room. And I'm like, all right, as long as it's coming out of your wallet, I'll dig a hole. And she was like, no. So now we're getting 2 for the price of 1.
Oh, nice.
No, I don't. They'll probably charge us. They'll probably charge us double. The fuckers.
It's so rare, you might get a discount.
No, yeah, it's fucked up. They're gonna be like, no, double, $480 for 2 cats.
Third year anyway. It's kind of a drag. Let me say good morning to everybody. Good morning, Kelly, Andrew. How are you this morning? Tim's with us. Lori, Raggy's with us already. over there in the UK?
Oh yeah, Fridays is his day off, so he gets off early on Fridays in the UK.
Very
So
nice.
he's already home for the day, half a day to Friday.
Coffee and a joint already?
Yep.
Dare I ask?
Coffee and
So what were we talking about before? Oh, we were talking about
before my dead pussies.
Yeah. No, I wanted to say.
Oh, we were talking about
we want to start to review some products, right? We're talking about this.
I could use some right now.
What?
You're breaking up already. This is goddamn ridiculous.
States.
I'm sorry, what? You're frozen.
I'm frozen.
Well, you look good.
Wow.
You there? I hear you.
Oh, you can still hear me?
I can hear you a little. You move just a little. Oh, you're moving again. Yay! He's back.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
All right, you're back.
What's up with this? No, I was saying, what are we going to do if the product to be reviewed is an edible product? How are we going to get a fair review done in the U.S. on this product? Because your response to edibles isn't.
Well, I'm going to say something first, and this is not my ploy to try to get edibles sent to me, but I don't know if I've ever really tried a real edible. I've told you that, like I've had friends who have made me edibles, said, yeah, I can make edibles for you, and I've eaten a couple and nothing. So I mean, I don't know, like I don't know if it's. I've never had an edible from like a dispensary. I've never had an edible from like little boxes who does it professionally. I've never had it. I've had it from a friend who said, I made some cookies. You want to try them? They're edibles and it tastes like weed, but I don't get them.
And you know what? And there's a possibility. I'm going to tell you right now, there's a possibility that some people, if they're new to making edibles, they don't know to decarboxylate the weed first. They just simply add the weed to the recipe and think that you're going to get high, or, add the weed to the butter and strain it through and think that you're going to get high from it. And the active ingredient is so far lower because you haven't done the steps properly that you would experience nothing. But Can you get edibles at your dispensary? No.
They will teach us how to make. They will teach us to give us the stuff like the distillate or the live resins or whatever to help us learn. And they're supposed to come and sit down and teach us if we want to sit with the pharmacist for 2 hours and learn how to do it. But I have my own primary care physician, so I don't need to do that.
Right.
But as I was saying, I'm kind of screwed, Doc, because I got to do that syringe thing, but I'm going to have to do that after the show because I don't have enough hands and enough time to get out there. But if this doesn't work, I'm fucked because I'm broke right now and I got no herb. Like I'm already screwed. My carts are gone. I was kind of hoping that these were just going to go right in there and I was going to have 3 more half grams of distillate. Now
is it really hard to push it through the plunger?
It was very hard, yes. And then I kind of at first, but then I said, "Oh, let me warm it up a little bit," and I held it in my hand.
Then it got a bit easier,
bit easier, but still kind of like the glass, the top of the thing where you take the mouthpiece off. Yeah, and that there's like a piece that comes up that's a little bit above the top of the glass that goes into the mouthpiece. And then you have that tiny little spot around the outside of that where the glass is, and that you got to try to squirt it. And there's no like tip to the syringe; it's just a flat syringe that kind of comes out.
But it should be coming out in a fairly small stream, right?
If like I said, I didn't really warm it up enough before, so maybe.
Warm it up to the point where it's not comfortable for you to touch it with your fingers.
Ah! I'm a cook.
Like 100 120, 130 degrees. You know what I mean?
It's not going to hurt it if it gets a little warm. That's my concern.
No, because it's going to be really temporary.
I was contemplating just dipping the son of a bitch right into my cup of coffee real quick and pulling it out and drying it off, and then with the cap on, of course.
No, you don't want to do that, right? Just in case there's any penetration of water or coffee. Just the warm air they heat,
the same place, right?
Or something like that. The best is like I'm saying, out of the kettle as the water's boiling inside or coming up to a boil. Heat it. When you can't feel comfortable touching, because you're going to hold at the end of because glass isn't a very good conductor.
No, it's very glassy, very hot.
So So at one end it could be pretty hot, and at the other end it'll be cool, especially when it's the plunger, right? So you get it to that point, and you be prepared. You have your cart there, and as soon as you're really warm like that, you get that tip of that nozzle as close as you can, wedged in between the oil and the outside glass,
and then just
start to squeeze it in and turn it, right? Spin it as you go, so it has to come down on the outside and doesn't all bung up.
That's what I did with the first when it was still a little too cold, and I did that, and it was just a big jelly rice piece size of glob around the top. Luckily, it all went down and in, but it took 5 minutes for it to drill.
Well, it might take a couple of minutes. Yeah, don't stress on that.
Sit here for 5 minutes waiting for this.
Stress on that. As long as you don't lose the product. As long as you don't lose the product, time is nothing.
Right, well, that was my thing. I was like, I'm not losing this product. I'm putting it on
you're funny.
bread, and I'm going to eat it.
You're funny.
All right, I have a couple stories that I found throughout the day.
I'm sorry, I says I had to wait 5-6 minutes. What's that all about?
I don't have time for that shit.
That's funny.
I wake up, I went to bed, and I was like, no big deal, because I got these little syringes. I'll wake up in the morning. I should have done them last night. This way they were done, and I wouldn't have had to worry. But I said, I'll get up in the morning, I'll put them right in, and I'll be good. I'll have another 2 or 3 days worth of cartridges to help me get through the week. So far, not so good. So far, but we'll work on it. I feel I knew what you were going to say is that I needed to warm it up better than what I had done, I just
it can get like at the right temperature. It can be the consistency of maple syrup. Maple syrup.
Yeah. Good morning, everybody over there. Thank you so much for being here.
I can tell you a story. I had a friend in Greece when I used to make vape pens back in the day when I was manufacturing those. I had a friend from Greece that was like, hey, this is an excellent idea. I need this in Greece. I can move a lot of these in Greece. How do we do this? And we went back and forth and back and forth. And the devices were able to be obtained from China, right? So you could get them directly from the same supplier I used. Ship right from China to Greece, but how was he going to get the oil? We couldn't figure out how to get him the oil. And then one day, I'm having breakfast in a restaurant, and they bring the thing of maple syrup, real maple syrup, and put it on the table, and I look at the color, and I'm like, that's interesting. Let me see. So the place I was at was like a Quebec place that specialized in maple syrup and breakfasts, So I went, and they had little bottles there that were sealed in red wax on the top, but they're like little tourist bottles.
Right.
So I was like, oh, that's brilliant. So I grabbed a couple of them and cleaned them all out, washed them all out with the alcohol, and got them all ready and filled them up with this oil and put the caps back on and dipped them in the red wax and looked at them with the ones I made compared to the one that I didn't touch. And I'm like, this flies. You know what I mean? And that's how we started to get the oil into Greece with maple syrup bottles.
Yep. There's always a way.
Yep. That's it.
Good morning, Lori. We were already discussing your plant.
You have to look at Lori's plant.
Yeah.
Where did it come from? How was that plant obtained? Did it start from a seed? Was it from a clone? How did that plant come to be growing in Lori's possession? That's the best place to start, and then we can start thinking from there. Seed could be a male. Could be a male plant. Could be hemp.
Could be hemp.
Might not be marijuana. Do you know where the seed came from? Do you know the origin of the seed? Did it come from a Facebook giveaway?
She says California.
California?
I think she said no to me.
Autoflower? Huh?
I said, I think she said no to me because I sent her an invite, and for some reason she's afraid to come up here because like people know from the size of that plant where she's from.
Oh, well, that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Hey, Lori, can you take a picture of that plant and send it to me on Messenger so I can have a look at a picture of it? If you can do that, then we can have a look. First, I'd like to know, okay, the seed came from California. Was it seeds that you purchased from California? Did it come from a giveaway? How do you know that?
Her. You talk to her. I'm going to run a commercial. We'll be right back. You're hanging with the hippie and Dr. High. We'll be right back. Live 365 and tune in.
Okay, men. This is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this.
Commercials are commercials for a reason.
You're going to go out
I got to pay the bills.
And be an all-star caregiver.
Exactly. So I won't be talking to them.
So what are you
no, they can't hear you. I turned the microphone off. The only people that can hear us are the people here on Facebook and YouTube.
And physically.
Oh.
WTHC, the radio people can't hear us.
Don't you forget about the pharmacy.
Who's the dude sitting behind you?
Because that's what caregivers do.
Head's on fire.
Don't give up. Don't ever.
That's my shaman.
This is your time to show the world your family.
He seems very busy behind you.
When his head's on fire, so is mine.
Go out there.
I see the smoke coming off of your head.
This world has ever seen.
You know, I always got to find something unique to pull out every day.
Tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Danica Patrick and proud aunt. Watching my nieces grow, play, and learn is amazing. But not every child gets to be carefree. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. are hungry. 1 in 6. That little girl sitting alone at the playground, she can't play like the other kids. She doesn't have the energy because she's hungry. School lunch will be her only meal today. It breaks my heart that this is the reality in our country, but it's something that Feeding America is working to change. Each year, the Feeding America network of
and you only got one to grow?
Billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. This food is then provided.
That's the first thing I want to ask is how do the other 4 look?
About using your imagination, learning, and having fun. These children shouldn't have to miss out on simply being a kid because they're hungry. To find out how you can help end childhood hunger in your community, visit feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has puppet needs. He can fix old puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Thorge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too. I spoke to my man last night. He said, play my music whenever you want. So I am officially a Muck Sticky player.
Oh, nice.
Enjoy life.
Yeah, I went over to his Discord and hung out with him last night.
Quality you can have. I'm gonna lay into the bed while this horny chick comforts me. She's been moaning for the boning cause she's a Muck Sticky fiend. I'll make her liver shake and quiver when I stick Big Johnson in her. She'll say, I'll be like, yo, all I need is a quickie, or just licking my big fat dick and leave a hickey, then get the fuck up off me. I don't waste any time cause time is money. And bitch, don't you know it ain't very funny when you're broke as hell and ain't got any weed. A fat back and diggy dank is all I need. And my guitar,
Morning, Brian.
on cash puffin' hash with a pad and a pen, and I gotta stay lifted.
John.
Stay lifted.
You can change your life in a matter of moments by doing one simple thing. Change the thoughts you think and the words you speak. And I'm gifted at coming up with things to say, so quit running your mouth and pass that joint this way so I can get the fuel I need to keep my rhyming fire burning. I'm a chief and freak sensation, multi-nation moolah earning, stoner all about the Benjamins and having fun until life ends and doing what I gotta do to get my message out to you, which is that you can live a life that's free of guilt and social strife. Just love yourself for who you are, have confidence, and you'll go far, and always stay lifted.
Good morning, Christopher. Good morning, Brian. How are you guys? It's so good to see you.
Your internal dialogue has an enormous effect on every aspect of your life, and you can alter it in a positive way. Well, I'm floating up here in the clouds. I don't think that I will ever come down. My feet are still planted firmly on the ground, and I'm marching on to victory. Tickety-tickety-tock, seconds go by on the face of the clock. Time moves forward, are you doing the same? Do your own thing, stay ahead of the game. Have fun while you can, get a grip, man. Lighten up, light it up, and put it to your lips. And don't be shy to the because they're not stupid. You did it and you're okay. They're gonna find out someday anyway. So open up and tell them what's up. Success is a choice, put love in their cup and keep their spirits lifted. Not sticky, got to stay lifted. Not sticky, got to stay lifted.
WTHC. Good morning, everybody. It's 10:23. Happy 420 to everybody out there in the Netherlands and whoever else is partying with us and hanging out. God bless everybody out there on Live 365 and tune in. And, of course, thank you all for being here on Facebook and YouTube. You guys are amazing. I have the one and only Dr. High hanging out with me. Dr. High, how are you, sir? Did Lori send you a picture?
Thank you yourself. Everybody's doing well.
Doing great.
Yeah, good Tina's with us. Weeks with us. Nice. So let's get back to Lori.
Okay.
So she says that the ones that she gave to her cuz are bigger. She kept the smallest because of the kids. Yes, I would like to see pictures of both, please, so that I can compare them to each other. And then Steve says, do you need 2 or more plant, male and female? So Steve's wondering if
he's from Australia and he's new to this whole situation.
Yeah, to produce cannabis. Actually, quite the opposite is true. We do not want male plants at all, only female plants. If a male plant, if you grow from seed, you have to be very careful because there's a point in time where the plant starts to show its sex, male or female, and you want to remove the males immediately because once the flowers open, they're going to pollinate your females, and your female buds, which is what you're trying to produce that has the highest percentage of cannabinoids, will then produce seeds. And all the energy of the plant will go into seed production. not into THC and CBD and terpene production. So, yeah. So that's only want the females, no males at all, unless you're a breeder, unless you're a fairly serious grower, or if you want to start creating new strains. If you can get a female of one strain and a male of another strain, you can pollinate one with the other and then effectively crossbreed them. But
yeah,
this is so specific, right? You can pollinate just one branch of a plant and have it go to seed. You don't have to pollinate the whole plant. You could just pollinate one branch, you know? So
that's what I've heard. I've heard.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah. So
yeah, my friend was teaching me that stuff the last time I was talking to him.
So Lori, you can send me pictures in Messenger and I'll take a look at them while we're on the show, and I will give you my thoughts. Simple as that. How you doing, Brian? Oh, you like the book, eh? Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you know, I'm pretty feel pretty good about that book because I've looked at other books that address that particular topic. And there is one book that I believe is advanced to that one. It's written by 8 different doctors. But the paperback copy is $120 some odd. And the hardcover is over $250. So it's out of reach for most people, unless you're a clinician, right? A doctor, a scientist. So barring that, I think for the day in, day out cannabis user or cannabis curious, that book is maybe the best one on the market, you know, in my opinion. Of course, it's mine, right? So my opinion might be that way, but
they'd be a little swayed.
Yeah, but that's not really about ego. It's about content.
You guys can go to Amazon.com and pick up all of his books. He has, what, 18 of them right now? 19?
25. If you count the translated ones, I think there's 32. Because I've begun to do some translation of the books. Is Cannabis Medicine is in 5 languages. So it's in English, French, Portuguese, German, Spanish. So
the important ones.
Yeah, the ones that can reach the most people. And then I have some of my single books because I'm in Canada, and Canada is a bilingual country. French will be the first translation, but I've only got 2 books completed in French, and my focus is currently on the artwork. So it might be a while before we get to it.
Do you have to write it in French, or does it just automatically switch over to French if you hit a button and translate?
No, there's some AI technology out there that is a highly accurate translator. So I can simply upload all the information into the translator, and it will give it back to me properly formatted in the other language. And it can work in like 26 languages or something like that. But it's not cheap.
That's cool.
You know, it's like $100 a month for that software. And DoktorHigh is totally funded by me at the moment. So I gotta watch where I spend the money.
WTHC is only funded by my generous sponsors who donate and help keep the radio going. I appreciate and love each and every one of you guys. I come across a couple stories. I don't know if you want to talk about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of them, I really don't even know what the hell it's saying, so I'm gonna read it to you, and you're gonna help me diagnose and figure out what the fuck they're saying. And then the other one is about we'll go to the other one first. This one scares me because I don't even know really what it is, but it's not really a story. So I think I'm going to need you to look it up after I read this to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's just a short clip. Why is it gone? You fucking kidding me? It had something to do with Kush. It's a new drug they're calling, and it's not marijuana. It's manipulated shit, and it's killing people. And you roll it like a joint, and you smoke it like a joint, but it's called Kush. That's what they're calling it, and whatever reason it disappeared. Let me see if I can find it again. But,
yeah, if it's not called cannabis sativa or cannabis indica or cannabis, or then don't touch it. If it's not THC and CBD, like even and my concern is for the ethics of the people that are doing the production, right? That's my major concern. I know if everything is done properly, solvents can be very safely used. And heat does naturally exist in the plant. So
I'm getting pissed because, of course, I picked the story out this morning, put it up on the top so I can grab it down, and then it says this story is no longer available.
Oh,
like what? It just not happened now? It's gone. Now I'm going through trying to find it.
So it's a new drug called, right?
We'll go to the other one. Cannabis use linked to.
I just wanted to say thank you to Sean because I didn't understand what his response to, it was awesome, but I guess Sean's read a copy of the book, so thank you, Sean.
Oh, no. Sean was talking about hanging out with Muck Sticky yesterday. It was awesome.
Oh, nice.
I think we went over to his Discord and hung out in his Discord with
him.
Nice. All right, so this one says cannabis use linked to epigenetic, epigenetic changes scientists discover. And then it's a whole long story. Do you want me to read it to you, or
we talked about it the other day?
We did.
Yep. When I talked about cannabis use in pregnancy,
activating and deactivating genes to change how our bodies function.
That was what was found in this study about prenatal use of cannabis, because women are now more frequently turning to cannabis to address the early symptoms of pregnancy, the first trimester, the morning sickness and nausea and stuff like that. So, cannabis seems to be a safe therapeutic use for that. And now they're studying it, and this was part of that finding. Now it's early, so, I would say that once you're pregnant, you shouldn't use anything but vitamins and all the healthy stuff. I understand that if they're looking at putting you on some serious drugs that may come with a risk of side effect that outweighs the potential side effects of cannabis, because I think that study also showed that it was a very, very small number, but they blow it up, right?
Right.
So,
hi, Stoner Granny. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us.
There are always people who have opposite agendas or different agendas. So they need to maximize, just like you have people who are, full head on legalization. There's never an issue with marijuana. It's perfect. Everybody loves it. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean? You have opposite sides of the spectrum, right, to anything. So extremists.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? The people in the extremes who are against cannabis will always want to amplify stories that show the negative potential and make it appear more shocking, right? Just as the people on the other end will glorify it tremendously in a case that might be overreaching in its actual ability.
Right.
So,
Stoner Granny is here, and she asked about Pineapple Express. Now, I know that is one of everybody's favorites.
How you doing, Stoner Granny? Nice to have you here.
She's an icon.
She's an icon.
Yeah, she's all over Facebook everywhere. Every time I turn on my Facebook, first thing I see in the morning, Stoner Granny.
Really? Stoner Granny, are we friends then? I thought I was friends with many people already in the community. Huh.
She's an icon. Hi, Lynn. How are you? Welcome in.
Too much. Well, it's nice to have you with us.
Absolutely.
Sure.
Honor. It's an honor, my friend. It's an honor and a privilege to have you here, Stoner.
So what is it you're looking for as far as your interest in Pineapple Express? Are you trying to know the genetic background of it, or are you trying to understand its
well, welcome in, Lynn. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here.
Benefits, or hello, Lynn, how are you?
We're here every day at 10 a.m. till noonish with Dr.
What sort of
High.
information do you want to know about Pineapple Express? I mean, it's a sativa dominant hybrid. Its parental origin was train wreck in Hawaiian. And this strain came out in the mid 2000s, early 2000s, maybe 2003, 2002. And, obviously it's a strain that gained a lot of attention due to the film.
Popularity.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, that's bound to blow anything up as far as a strain is concerned. But, Pineapple Express is not actually that high of a THC strain in generality. It's in the 18% range if it's grown really well.
Let me stop you for a second there. Stoner Granny, are you a medical patient? Do you have a dispensary local to you? Because he would be happy to help you pick out what you should get for that great high. He'll look at your dispensary and happily help you. And do you smoke it with flower, or do you vape it or dab it? How do you go about taking care of your stonerishness?
And some of the benefits of Pineapple Express is because it's
memberberry,
alanine and ocimine and caryophyllene. Depression. It can help give you some energy, so it can be an uplifting strain, bit of mental clarity and focus. And
okay, well, Stoner Granny, we have a lot to tell you, Stoner Granny. Flower is wonderful. Do you dry herb vape it, or do you smoke it? How do you smoke it? Like in a joint, in a bowl, in a bong?
Memberberry, I'm not familiar with.
I've never heard of memberberry either.
No.
I mean, every state has their own, strains.
Well, and the thing is, right? A lot of the strains, if you're buying them in dispensaries and they're being sold by companies, some strains.
Good morning, Ganji lovers.
They will tell you the real name of the strain. But a lot of them have their brand name of the strain to make themselves kind of unique, right? So because there's no registry of cannabis that enforces that the genetic name has to be used, right? You have the freedom to name your weed basically what you want. It has its true strain origins. But when it comes to selling it, you can call it whatever you want, right? So it can be a part of your branding strategy or whatever the case may be. So, memberberry could be something. There are plenty of berry strains, and this company may have just used that name to, customize it to their own brand or their own product line. As far as I would, because I've not heard of memberberry as a strain.
So anyway. Stoner Granny smokes her flower from a pipe. Now, Stoner Granny, myself, I'm an older, probably a glass pipe, and I'm going to let you talk to her about that. She's a professional now. Take into consideration she's been doing it for a very long time. So, but we want to help her.
We want to help her.
What?
Well, the whole thing is, if Stoner Granny for a long time. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you now, but you're not moving. Now you're
Okay,
moving.
we're back.
You're
So
good.
I was saying, if Granny is a professional, then she's been consuming cannabis for a long time. So if her delivery method of choice is a glass pipe, so be it. If it's a metal pipe, so be it. You know what I mean? The way that you choose to consume cannabis is completely personal. It's not the way that I would suggest that an individual who's been prescribed cannabis for the first time is introduced to their experience. Right? This is where I go. An experienced person has the right of choice to take their medicine any way they want. You know, there are different things, but I don't think that it's the first and foremost, as far as medical delivery, the best method of choice.
Safest,
But
I thought.
that too, because there are other things. But it's
Safety-wise, that's what I was talking.
Well, because you can pull the ash in that, but you know, if you're using a bong, that's a different story because you got the catch there, right? The more things you have in between, the better. You know,
Right,
or
well,
you
Stoner Granny. What I was kind of getting at, and what Dr. High are getting at, is that smoking flower we always thought was like the greatest and the best thing, but I've come to learn recently that it's not the safest because you're actually inhaling plant matter and particles, and especially through a glass bowl. Now, if you were to use a bong, then a lot of that stuff gets caught in the water and it doesn't go into your lungs. But if you were to use a cartridge or a dab or a vape concentrate type things, then you're getting a safer delivery, especially for us older folks who are grannies and grandpas, who our lungs may already starting to feel that effect after a long-term use.
Right.
Because when we were kids, there wasn't such things as all that other stuff. So we just smoked flower and we smoked a shitload of it.
Yeah. But I would assume if going by the name Stoner Granny can imply anything, then probably cannabis use has been very long. It's probably like our age. So it's been getting high for 40 years.
Right. I'm just
A
trying
glass
to spread
pipe
the
or
safety.
any kind of pipe is your method of choice, and that's what you've always loved, and that's the way you like it. Then go for it.
God bless
you. Know what I mean? Totally. But I'm just saying that, because of how I see my place in the cannabis world, which is helping people become introduced to it new or reintroduced to it later in life after having experiences younger and everything, but now really need to know what matters, right, as far as cannabis use is concerned and how it can possibly help them. A pipe is not in the list of suggestions I would be making.
Ganji lovers, we were just talking about edibles a little while ago. Yeah, because I suffer from that not getting off edible thing. See, like I still haven't felt anything from that, sir. That half a quarter of a gram of distillate that I ate. Yeah. So I'm very concerned. So I'm gonna, and then guess what? So I'm like, oh, he told me I could dab it, right? I'm like, I can dab that, right? So I squirted it into my little dab tray. The rest of that half a quarter of a gram, I squirted in there, and I go to reach up for my dab thing, and my fucking son stole it, and it's up in his room now. So now I don't have.
Quick, he got you?
Yeah, he was like, "I'm gonna take this and take your nectar because I'm out." And I'm like, "Yeah, go ahead, whatever, but bring it back." And then the son of a bitch didn't bring it back, and now he left to go to work, and it's up in his room. And I really try to respect his privacy, and I don't go into his room. So now my freaking nectar collector's up there, and I'm sitting here sober.
Kids, what are you gonna do?
Oh.
Okay, so Lynn says that.
Well, hold on, let me do my commercial. You catch up on things. I'm going to run a commercial. And we'll be right back. You're hanging with the hippie and Dr. High live on WTHC Radio, which is live on Live 365 and tune in. We're there all day. But Dr. High is so gracious to join me every morning at 10 a.m. over here on Facebook and YouTube, where you can come and hang out with us. And then after that, we'll, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. I lost it.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today, I'm going to help parents translate.
Happy birthday, Lynn.
Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, It's exactly like
You have a
saying,
card in
"That's
Florida, I
rad."
would assume.
It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is
Everybody,
totes.
don't be afraid to
It's
talk
exactly like
about
saying,
anything here. We
"Totally,
are breaking
just
barriers.
As
This
in,
radio
I
station
totes
is going to
love
be
going
one of
to
the
the mall.
first radio stations to
Another
break
word you might hear
barriers.
is jelly.
If you're interested in
Jelly is a shorter,
mushrooms,
better way to
talk
say
to Dr.
jealous.
High. He
As
got
in,
the
"Chloe,
knowledge.
I am like so
I'm
jelly
just here
of
for
your
good
unicorn
looks.
phone case."
You
And
don't
to get
have
high.
to speak teen
Except
to
for
be
I
a
don't have
perfect
anything to get
parent.
high with today.
Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptyourkids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of
my good
seconds,
looks.
she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurk in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Got the looks. He's got the looks.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hey, hippie, look at this beautiful crystal sphere I got from Bella's Badass Crystals.
Look at this big vagina I got.
OMG, hippie.
It doubles as a worry stone.
Bella's Badass Crystals is on the top of the mountain in Dauphin, PA.
You can also check out their sales. They have mini Mondays and twice a day Tuesdays.
Find Bella's Badass Crystals on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
They are badass.
Hey, it's me, Mrs. Hippie. Check out Vern on TikTok at You Have Me Hooked. She's amazing. And everything she makes on TikTok, she sells at You Have Me Hooked 23 at Etsy. So you can watch her make it and she'll make personalized stuff. So if you have an idea, like I would like this thing made, she can make it. She can make anything. She's an incredible artist. Check her out at You Have Me Hooked on TikTok and You Have Me Hooked 23 on Etsy.
Are you tired of having a dirty brown booty hole? Do you wish your booty hole was pure white? Then you need to call us at 1-800-BLEACH-MY-BOOTY-HOLE, and we will show you how to do this all naturally. For just $19.95 plus $3.95 shipping and handling, we will send you an instructional manual complete with illustrations on how to put your legs behind your head while on a lawn chair and point your booty hole towards the sun properly. We will teach you how to spread your cheeks so that the sun can naturally bleach all those cracks and crevices that you can't reach otherwise. Act now, and we will throw in a pair of sunglasses to protect your eyes, but not your booty hole. Call 1-800-BLEACH-MY-BOOTY-HOLE naturally now.
Southern Star Productions in the house. Hands up, everybody. Dr. High, I said hands up.
Hands up. No. I heard that one too many times. I heard that one too many times in my life.
Hands up, sir. Get up against the wall.
Hands up, hands up, hands up. Put your hands up. Put your motherfucking hands up. Put your motherfucking hands up. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Yeah, we finally made it. Radio finally played it. No more struggling. It's cash only when I'm paying. It feels so amazing. For the top is where I'm aiming. Guns blazing, bullseye. Yeah, I'm flaming. That's all I'm saying. And it can keep you hard, and that you can do the same. I came from nothing to something, and now they know my name. It's not about the fame or about the motivation. I'm off the ground now, and you can call it levitation. The flow is off this axis, lost as the days passes. I'm in the atmosphere looking down with my sunglasses. Ashes to ashes and dust to dust. I'm on top of the world with my hands up, hands up, hands up. Put your hands up. Put your hands up. hands up, hands up, hands up. Put your hands up, hands up, put your hands up. Put your motherfucking hands up, hands up, hands up, hands up. I'm trying to make something out of nothing. I ain't got much, but the beat got me buzzing. I'm tired of all the drama, all I hear is fussing. I'm hoping and bumping, gonna knock the haters down. Down for the count, we ain't pound for pound. You don't give me lyrically, it's all in one ear and not the other. It's not black and white, it's all one color. Where's all the other? It's like all we gotta say to one another. I'm as real as it gets. I put the pen to the pad and it's a guaranteed hit. You either feeling it or you're not feeling what I spit. Would you catch me if I fell, if I was down? Would you give me a lift? Feel a drift like I'm lost to sea. All I wanted for you was to believe in me. I'm doing my best, but it's never enough. I feel like giving in, but I can never give up. That you can trust. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Put your hands up. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Put your hands up. Hands up, hands up, hands up. Put your hands up. Hands up, hands up, hands up. I've been to hell and back, and yes, that's a fact. Serious like a heart attack, heart beating fast. I'm feeling paranoid. Call me beast without the steroids, making me as bleed. Cause you know I always bring the noise, and that's guaranteed. Don't need to bring it back unless you a DJ. Then you can spin it back, same shit every day. Life's like playback, running this beat till time's out. Call me quarterback. I'm feeling spaced out in another galaxy. Hate all you want, but I promise there's no breaking me. I'll never stop until my days are done. Cannibalistic when it comes to beats, so come and get your son. Killing rappers, eating beats, call me Jeffrey Dahmer. Top of the food chain, you can't get no higher. I'm gonna do what I gotta do, there ain't no stopping me.
WTHC, that is my main man, Southern Star Productions. Pick him up if you don't have him. He's on Facebook, he's on YouTube, he's on TikTok, he's on all the platforms. He is a beat maker and a rapper. Pick him up, please. Amazing. Thank you guys so much for listening, hanging out. I appreciate and love you all. Dr. High, go for it.
Oh, it's just going back to talked about the cross between skunkberry and mandarin sunset was the member berry, and then Stoner Granny was she likes dabs. She's tried it a couple of times, loved it. She's open to all. So with dabs are nice. For the flavor, because you can get excellent flavor every single time. You can taste all those beautiful terpenes and flavonoids, cannabinoids inside that concentrate. So really nice experience. But on top of that,
this guy
for medicinal purposes, more effective. So if you use it as medication, you can get a more effective dose in a shorter period of time, a more discreet dose if you're out in public, because you can simply put it into an oil pen that you carry with you or into carts that you screw onto the battery. So very effective method of delivery and a very discreet method of delivery. You don't need much, as they says. Fred Flintstone would say, a little dab will do you. You know, you have a dab of do, a little dab will do you.
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's pretty good from that point of view too. You know, so Ganji Lover loves to eat it, which is an effective method of delivery too, and it's long lasting. So pretty effective from a therapeutic point of view. And Kelly's sending Mississippi to go get your distillate from your son's room.
Oh no, she's going to get my cart. I mean, my nectar collector.
Your nectar collector. He took the whole nectar collector and the nectar. You took the collector and the nectar?
took no, the nectar's here. The collector is gone, but he was taking the nectar from inside the collector. He was like, I'm gonna take your reclaim if you don't mind. And I'm like, yeah, go ahead. I said, go ahead, but make sure you bring everything back. And now I went to go reach for it, and I'm like, that son of a bitch didn't bring it back. So now I'm like, son of a gun.
Hold on, I think my dog wants to go out.
All right, Fido.
Is there anything
What's
going
your
on?
shaman's name? I feel bad not knowing his name. Hello, shaman. He doesn't talk much. He's kind of studying.
My spirit guy.
Yeah, he's kind of busy.
See, he goes back inside of me. I just kind of swallow him up when I sit down. It's my guidance.
Good morning, Brandy. So good. Alrisha. Good morning. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. How do I start my own weed?
How do you start your own weed? In what way? Your own brand, your own strain?
That's Raggy over in London. So, good luck.
Well, I want
you to stop freezing.
I want
man.
you. Yeah, me too. Me too.
There you are.
So initially, Mr. Slow, there were what they call landrace strains that grew in different places on the earth, some in Africa, some in the Hindu Kush Mountains in Afghanistan and India. So these plants developed in different climates and different places like that. That was the original, what they called landrace strains, and there's about 7 of those. And basically from there, there are like 3,000 strains or something now, but they've all come from crossbreeding those initial strains and then crossbreeding the crossbreeds and people trying to, elevate certain characteristics and, you know what I mean? So this is all a result of breeding from the original land races. It's very difficult to find landrace strains anymore.
Stoner Granny here.
One, but I did smoke a red Congolese, which was one of the landrace strains. I managed to get the opportunity to try that about 4 or 5 years ago, and I remember it being very good. Very good. Didn't look pretty. Had a real sativa-like look to it. Lanky, and my dog is a pain in the ass sometimes. He just wants to go and smell the air. He gives all the indicators that he has to go outside. And of course, he's a dog, right? You got to let him outside when he shows he's got to go outside. But sometimes he just wants to smell what's going on. So he goes halfway out and then stops right in the doorway. So I leave it open for him for a minute. And then next thing you know, the fucking flies come in or whatever. It drives me nuts. Love them to death, though. But landrace strains are hard to come from. But what's around now is all from those originals. There is an interesting group of guys you can look at on Facebook. They're called the Strain Hunters. They did a whole bunch of shows. They traveled around the world seeking out these landrace strains. And the episodes are like an hour and a half, something like that. But super, super interesting, really great shows to watch if you're interested in cannabis and its origins and how it came to be.
What was their names again? The Strain
Hunters. Strain Hunters.
Shout out to the Strain Hunters.
Really great programming, these guys. They're fantastic.
The fungi over there, the fungi says he's seen them and they are very informative.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I know guys that used to hang out with these guys that knew them. I actually have a T-shirt from the show, a Strain Hunters T-shirt. So I never met him, but I knew guys who knew him, and that's how I first was.
Dr. High and I are going to be on a Vice show soon too.
Looking at him. Oh, somebody said they're on Vice, or those shows are from Vice. Yeah, it could be, quite possibly.
Now that all the actors and actresses are on strike and all the writers, me and Dr. High are going to be on TV. It's going to be up to us on CBS every night.
We're the next action stars of the future.
Yeah.
You know?
And you fungi. Don't worry, we won't forget you fungi.
What we do, instead of arresting the bad guys, we convert them to becoming good guys with marijuana.
By giving them weed. Right.
We give them cannabis therapy and make them good members of society, make them part of a community, and take them away from all the evil underpinnings, from opiates, all their opiate underpinnings.
Right. I see it.
So, who knows? I don't know. Fable Ann says looks like I need to be more high. Well,
all right, Dr. High, you ready? I got something. It's an article. It says comparing flower strains with THC vape pens.
Yep.
Two well-liked cannabis consumption methods are THC vape pens and flower strains. Both provide distinctive benefits and experiences, yet there are a clear distinction between the two. We'll examine the difference between both in this post to provide you with the knowledge you need to choose wisely based on your tastes.
Right.
And then it goes through a whole shitload of stuff. I mean, it's not very hard. I can read it. Flower varieties. The cannabis plant actually buds are referred to as flower strains. These are the oldest, most well-known methods of consuming cannabis. The following are some essential traits of floral strains. And then it says experience that is natural and whole spectrum. Flower strains provide an experience that is natural and full spectrum because they include the whole spectrum of the cannabinoids, terpenes, and other naturally occurring substances in the cannabis plant. This mixture of substances can produce, hold on, let me just finish this sentence. Can produce a mixture of substances, can produce distinctive flavors, fragrances, and effects. Go ahead.
Yes. But?
Oh, well, then it goes on. Variety of
we can continue, but let's just address some of what they say as we go through. Because we're here to pick apart what people talk, you know what I mean? Not pick it apart, but to analyze it and to explain it to people, and so they can see the realities behind what you see and read and what's the deal. So they say that the cannabis flower is a natural and full spectrum way to consume the plant.
That's what I said.
Yes. But the only thing about that is that it's not the only natural and full spectrum way to consume the plant, because that can also be done by pressing rosin.
Well, I think that's where we're headed, sir, because it's saying comparing the strains between flower and carts, right?
Yeah, but I'm just going to say that flower is actually the negative of the two, because in order to consume the flower, you must burn plant material and inhale whatever comes along with the burning of that leaf, which is completely unnecessary in order to get your full spectrum medication. Okay, so now next section that you want to go through, and we'll look for it.
Well, let's talk about something really quick, because we were discussing this after our show yesterday. Not Dr. Raggy, the Sky Daddy, Raggy, Mr. Slow, that's him. Mr. Slow and I were talking in the back room about how you mentioned how you don't have to hold your weed in. You're telling us we don't have to hold it in. All my life, I know that, and we've discussed this before. So all my life, I was always told, hold it in. You don't cough. You don't get off. I've been doing it the way you said now, where I just take it in, take it out, take it in, take it out. I've noticed no difference. I mean, I still get just as high as I was before. So I agree with you. But Raggy and I were discussing it, and I just want you to elaborate, I guess.
Well, it's just that the way that the lungs are designed, right? Just by inhaling and exhaling, your lungs is pulling as much THC out as they can. But what you're not doing is allowing all those tars and everything to build up. You just want the cannabinoids.
So holding it, breathe it in and breathe it out, you're going to have less of that phlegmy cough.
Yeah, but you may still cough. Absolutely. You probably are still going to cough. It's probably not going to change one little bit.
No, I mean, like, as you get older, your lungs will be less affected by it if you're not holding it. Like, all my life, I've been holding it in. So I think that if they went in there with some scrapers and they could get themselves a nice big old ball of resin from all the shit that I've had in there.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
They get really high.
But, let's just put it this way. There is absolutely no benefit to holding in your toke as opposed to taking it in and exhaling it immediately. There's no benefit. The only thing there could be potentially are
negatives.
So,
negative.
That's the only difference.
Something important, you freeze. You're like, and the only thing that could be bad is, and then you freeze.
I freeze. You know what that is, right? Can you hear me?
I hear you now, but you're still stuck in that same position.
You hear me now? I was going to say, that's the overlord. That's the overlords and giant pharma trying to block out the truth.
Right. That bastards. Or it could be Facebook saying, we really don't want you guys talking about all this kind of stuff on
because we're in league with them.
Yeah. Right. Anyway, so I'm going to go on to the next section. It pretty much, it's not a bad story. It's just, so now it goes on to, where did I leave off? Experience in natural whole spectrum, right? There are many different flower strains available, each with its own special quality. Sativa, indica, and hybrid strains can all be classified according to how much THC and CBD they contain. Indica strains are typically linked with drowsiness and relaxation. Sativa strains are uplifting effects, and hybrids with a combination of both. Flower strains are typically smoked in joints, pipes, bongs, or other traditional smoking apparatuses. This process involves combustion, which causes smoke inhalation. Dry herb vaporizers, which heat the cannabis without burning it and offer a smoother and perhaps healthier inhalation method, can also be used to vaporize flower strains. Go ahead.
Yep. Well, I agree.
Nothing you want to say about that stuff?
No, I mean,
it's basically everything we always say. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you.
I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Like that's my opinion on for immediate relief. Like if you're using for medical reasons and you're using for pain, the most immediate, effective, quickest delivery is inhalation. So if you need to inhale to get that.
I still, like I told you, my state is a. Right, like I was saying, my state, we're not allowed to smoke marijuana.
And I think that's good advice because there's no benefit. There's no benefit.
That is absolutely disgusting, sir. I'm sorry.
But you can strip everything good from the plant without smoking the leaves. The leaves don't give you any benefit. It tastes like burnt leaves. Well,
it doesn't taste.
Teach is all right, and there's nothing wrong with smoking joints. You can. I just say that it's not.
Well, no, I don't smoke joints anyway. If I'm a person, I was always like Stoner Granny. I'm a bowl guy. I was always a bowl guy. I feel.
Yeah, I would say coming right after vaporizers. If you're going to consume your cannabis in a flower form, the bong would be the next best way.
Bong, right?
Yeah, bong after vaporizer, bong.
Well, by law, we're not allowed to put flame to our flower.
Right.
We have to either vaporize it, dab, cook it, eat it, or vaporize it. I said vaporize it already. So we have to have one of those dry herb vaporizers. I got one, and I told you I had a really hard time dumping out stuff that still looked like weed. And
that's psychological because you got all the good stuff. That's why it looks like that.
Yeah, well, I'm learning that now. I think that it was very hard for me to understand psychologically when I was doing it without Dr. High and I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I'm burning this stuff and it doesn't taste the greatest. And I don't know if I'm getting high and it's gross. And then I'm dumping out half of my looking good stuff that looked good when it went in there. Now it looks like coffee grinds. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Some of that flavor that you don't like when you're using a dry herb vape is actually chlorophyll.
Chlorophyll?
Yeah, because chlorophyll is what makes the plant green.
That's
the
my
green
Waterbury impersonation.
in cannabis, right? Is chlorophyll. So some harvesters don't take the time they need during the cure to remove the chlorophyll, right? That can take a month to really get a lot of the chlorophyll out through your curing process of your cannabis, right? You got it dried, then you put it into an airtight container in the dark, and once every day you open that container, you toss your buds, you reseal it, and you do that for a month, and that's your curing time. And that's how you're increasing not only THC percentage, but the weed's maturing. It's getting to become more flavorful, a mellower smoke, a nicer smoke, a more well-balanced cannabis. So if you get your hands on really well-cured cannabis, the chlorophyll content will be really diminished, and it won't have the nasty flavor you're talking about. It'll just have that really nice flavor, like the concentrate smells, you know what I mean, from the same strain.
Yeah. Like I said, what we do in the privacy of our own home is whatever. But if I were to be walking down the street with my medical card and I had a bowl on me and I was smoking a bowl or a joint, I could be arrested because it's not legal here. We're not allowed to smoke our marijuana. We have to dry herb it, dry vape it, or whatever, or vaporize it. So
I see the logic.
Let me do the commercials because we're due, and we'll be right back. It's time again. I know. I love.
Thanks, Tim. I got a lot of magic mushroom backgrounds. I'm gonna pull them every once in a while. I'm gonna pull them out.
All right, you're listening to the Doctor and the Hippie. We're hanging out over here, and we'll be right back. WTHC.
Hey, Dad, your prescription will be ready in just a minute. Hey, Dad, your laundry will be ready in just a minute. Dad,
It's okay,
your lunch
Stoner
will be
Granny.
ready in just a
Thank
minute.
you for coming back.
Hey,
we
honey.
appreciate it. Please
Why
share it
don't
out
you
to
recommend it?
everybody. We're here
When you
every
help
day,
care for
10
a loved
a.m.
one,
till
you
noon.
Give them as much time as you can, making sure they're safe and comfortable.
Whose son has a birthday?
Just as important that you take some
Tim.
time.
Happy birthday to your son.
The AARP
Tim's
is
son,
working
yeah.
out with
Who else has a
information.
birthday on Sunday? Who was it? Lynn. Lynn has a birthday Sunday.
Happy birthday to Lynn.
Caring for a loved one.
Hope you have a great day. Excellent weekend with family,
your loved
friends.
Thanks, Dad.
Stay safe. Stay stoned.
You're there for them. We're here for you. Find free care guides to support you and your loved one at aarp.org/caregiving. That's aarp.org/caregiving. A public
5
service
years of fun coming your way.
and the agents.
He has older
All
ones
right,
though.
class.
He knows.
Let's hear what everybody
That's a last minute
Well,
ditch
I raised
effort
my older
to
sister
save
to
the
a big oak
marriage.
tree. It was at least
Right.
100 years old.
Oh, I'm just
My mom
kidding.
said I must have set a record or something.
Your actual last name is Human?
Perched up on this
I don't
huge
know
rock.
if he's
And
real
saw
or
all
if he's
these
not.
little minnows swimming around way below us.
That's what I'm
And then I
wondering.
rescued my little brother from an
Okay.
evil
So you know the ride.
at the Bush Fortress. And my sister and I
Nice.
brought him back to our super twig fort for safety. And then we all laid out and told
That's a weird
stories
last
until it
name.
got dark. And the Big Dipper let us
Never
all
seen
the
it
way
before.
home.
Tim Human.
Where were you, Jill?
You're a human.
We went to the forest.
Now I'm going to start to question whether you actually are or not.
This
You know, people
weekend?
weren't trying too hard to try and convince you to something.
Ask your parents to take you and
You
your
gotta,
friends
you gotta question it.
and find the fun,
Hyman.
adventurous you. It's closer than you think.
Stoner
Check out
Grammy.
discovertheforest.org.
Oh, he
Brought
wrote
to you
human.
by the US
Stoner
Forest Service
Granny, we
and the
love
Ad
you. Thank you so much for stopping by. Please share it out and tell your friends that we're here every day. Anybody who has any questions or anything needs to know, we're going to be here from now on.
If you need some kick-ass puppets,
Nice. Thanks, Stoner Granny, for spending
Got to
some time
hang
with us
around
today.
for the 420 songs coming up.
1535. He has all your
Almost
puppet
420 in the
needs. He
UK.
can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack.
Not that I can do
cheap,
anything to
cheap
fuck
prices.
about it.
Contact Forge today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
So that came about, Tim,
bottled
because your ancestors had to explain to the tribes they encountered in South Africa that they weren't actually God,
5-micron
that
filter
they
that
were
lasts up to a
human.
year, and each machine lasts
So
25
that's
to
how
30
that last name came about through that
attach
time
your
in
faucet or
South
install
Africa.
under your sink. Get a
They
mineral
thought you were
supply
God,
for
just
your
like the
shower.
South
Go to
American Indians
better.org.
thought that
Get a free
the
ebook.
first
Plus, pay for
Spanish sailors were gods, you know?
extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
WTHC, we're back and we're a little early, so I'm going to ask you guys to take advantage of this and smoke twice. But we're going to play one song and we're going to play it now. These are my boys, Calligraphy with THC. You got to love them.
Hey, it's Bill Schmidt Jr., a.k.a. Billy Blaze, a.k.a. 420 Kid of the Holistic Cloud. R.I.P. to my man Derek Crum. I want to give a shout out to Calligraphy, my dude Means, little homie Manuel Noriega, Big Just, Rossi, Jack the Apostle, the League.
Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Big buzz till little crumbs broke up in the bottom. Feel like autumn leaves falling. Only problem needs solving is seeing who I'm calling for some trees to indulge in. Need to holler at Billy. His head in the cloud.
Wolf Totem?
Screaming loud, still smoking, having nice dreams floating through space. So when they ask me how high, my reply, I'm half baked. Sir, smoke a lot. Doctor said I need a bacchiotomy. Prescribe me huckleberry and lemon cherry gelato, G. I take it back to rolling in the Optimo, blowing smoke out my nose, dropping ashes on my clothes till I doze off. I'm so fried, no lie. Got you afraid of heights, scared to look down, you so high. Cause when I spit that shit, it's like I lit that shit in the crowd, pass it around and let you hit that shit. Weed is all I need, smoke that weed.
Are you talking about that song Wolf Totem? Those guys from Mongolia?
Roll up in the leaf for my relief. I'm in love with the THC.
Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Got sunshine in my pocket on a Sunday stroll. Homie got the rap, give me the sack. Let the good times roll. Therapy, earth, body, and soul. World, give me beef, Bel Air Kush, give me mental control. L lit back road, 5 hats told. The studio bring relief.
I love those. Yeah, I'm not allowed to play them while we're on Dr. High or I get in trouble. Unless you want to reach out to your buddy Cheech and tell him to give us the rights. Good morning, Kyle. How are you, buddy?
From information, stand up, provide the right education. Show love, holistic cloud, politics, combination, making this taste the weed.
Weed is all I need, so that weed. Weed is all I breathe, broke down leaves. And I leave for my relief.
I'm in love with the THC. Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it. 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 Roll that shit, lick that shit, burn it.
Hi, Crystal.
We're back, guys. WTHC. It's the hippie and Dr. High hanging out and getting high and bullshitting and talking medical marijuana and anything else you guys want to talk about. Hi, Crystal. How are you? Good to see you again. That's your friend, Crystal. my friend Crystal.
Yeah, yeah.
Became
I said
friends.
hi.
How are you, Crystal?
Yeah. A chance to say hello. Nice. Yeah. So
Where did we leave
back to
off?
that article.
Oh, you want me to go to the next section?
Yeah. Why not?
All right. Experience customization. With flower strains, you have more flexibility over dosage. You have more flexibility over dosage and experience customization. To get the desired effects and flavors, you can change how much cannabis you use, how you consume it, and even mix various strains. Continue? Or do you want to elaborate?
So they're saying that flower gives you more variety.
With flower strains, you have more flexibility over dosage and experience customization. To get the desired effects and flavors, you can change how much cannabis you use, how you consume it, and even mix various strains.
Oh.
Here is a hold on. Let's listen to this.
It.
Let's listen to this. There's actually an article I can rewind and play from the beginning. It's only 2 minutes long. All right, let me turn the volume up. Oh, guess I can't do that. Can you hear it?
No.
You can't hear it at all?
No. Nothing. Just silence.
Right.
Yeah, so I
shut
don't understand that because flower is a great deal of variety because not everybody extracts every strain or every harvest. So yeah, I guess it's easier to find variety in flower on that perspective. But is it actually easier to control dosing and deliver potentially greater medicinal benefit than a full spectrum extract oil? That I don't think is realistic. You know what I mean? I don't think that that's a valid part of that statement. If that's what they were intending to say, right? Like, I don't know if that was their intention, but to me, it's much easier to dose a concentrate than it is to control dosing with flower. And don't forget, flower, there's a great deal of loss, right? 75% of what's available is not available because it's being lost in the smoke before you actually get the ingestion. So you're only getting 25% of what's there. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to ask you. Yeah, I want to interrupt for a second because you're right. I mean, I'm not going to argue your fact, but when you're smoking a bowl or a bong, or a joint for that matter, it's lit. That shit still burns, and you're losing valuable stuff. Well, that shit's sitting in your bowl burning. Well, that shit's sitting in your bong burning away. While you're puff passing away, and you're standing there bullshitting, and you're talking with your friends, and you're holding the joint like a microphone. That you're losing all that quality stuff. That's all quality stuff that you're just losing.
Well,
when I use my nectar collector and I dab with my nectar collector, I feel like I have such control because it's hot. You touch it a little bit, you get that smoke. You touch it again a little bit, you get the little bit of smoke. Boom, boom, boom. You pull it away. No more waste. All that's in your mouth except for that little bit that goes when you're trying to hold it in. But you say I don't have to anymore, so I'm not gonna. But I'd pull that into my mouth and I'd be like, and then, but I feel like now that you're saying that, like you're smoking a bowl. I got a bowl. I'm putting my thumb over that shit, trying to get it to stop burning. Smoke's still coming out the other end. The bong, smoke's still burning. I'm losing half of my weed in my bong. Well, it's burning away while I'm talking on the radio or whatever. I turn back and the damn thing's empty, and I'm like, it's all ash. What happened to it? I just packed a nice bud in there, and that's all loss.
Well, and this is another issue, right? When you put a flame to cannabis, that flame is somewhere over 700 degrees. All your available ingredients in the cannabis plant are vaporized at 420 degrees. By the time you reach 420, there's nothing left in the plant that your body wants or needs. So by heating it 300 degrees hotter and combusting the plant material, there's no physical benefit. There's only potential for physical harm, right? Like Bill Stack is saying he uses a torch on his flower. Yeah, I know people do, but I don't get it. I mean, I would suggest you use hemp wick. The next time you're at the head shop, just buy some hemp wick and use hemp wick for your bowls. If you're smoking bowls or smoking from a glass pipe, hemp wick is the way to go, right? It's the best, healthiest way for you. And the temperature, I mean, it's still too high. Vaporizing is the best one, but
I have a question.
Sure.
This last batch of flour that I've received from the dispensary, it was 33 point whatever %. It was called banana pudding teen. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was like 2% THC and 80% or whatever THCA or remember whatever it was. I don't remember. I just threw the container away. But it was mostly THCA. Now, with the flame on a bowl, that has to turn that to THC. Is there a certain temperature? 420, right? Isn't that the temperature?
That's when it becomes vaporized. Like over time, you can decarboxylate. You can remove that if you're making edibles and you're putting your cannabis in the oven, you can put it as low as 260 degrees, and over the course of 25 or 30 minutes, you've converted a majority of the THCA to THC. So in order to convert from THCA to THC, it's not required to get to that 420 degree mark, right? The carbolic acid comes off at a much lower temperature and over a period of time, right? It takes to break that bond. So when you, see, Crystal says sheet of carbs at 205. That's it. And it depends, right?
For how long? For how long do you decarb for?
At 205, I'm going to say at least 30 minutes and maybe more like 40, unless Crystal's trying to highlight CBN and bring in a deeper, heavier type body stone to deal with that sort of thing. Then you might go 45 minutes or an hour, right? So
45
there you go.
minutes. 45 minutes.
Yeah. So that's
me being an old school person. It's very hard for me to just take a big old bag. I mean, I guess it's different for people who have tons and tons of weed, like big bags and garbage bags full of it, to be able to put a tray of weed in the oven and just watch it cook. But for me, I can't take that ounce that I just paid $380 for at the dispensary and then put it into the oven to decarboxylize it. It just hurts too much.
Edibles don't work for you. And see, the whole thing is, right? Like, let's say that you buy that ounce. Ounce is 28 grams. 28 grams is 25% THC. Okay?
Right.
So if we divide 28 by 4, we get 7.25, right? I think.
You're
14 or
doing
14. No, 7.
I dropped out of math in second grade.
Sorry. We get 7.
When they were like, you got to subtract apples, I was like, fuck this shit. I want the apples. I'm not subtracting nothing.
You get 7 grams. 7 grams is 7,000 milligrams. So in an ounce of flour, you have 7,000 milligrams available THC, let's say.
Right.
Out of that, and that's out of 28,000 milligram total value. Right. You have 7,000 of it available to you. If you're smoking it in joints or in flour, you're getting 25% of those milligrams into your body. So now instead of 7,000, you're getting 3,500. You're getting 1,750 milligrams of THC into your body for $380. How much does it cost you to buy 1 gram?
That's if you smoke it by yourself and you're not sharing with other people and you're not, playing with it and
So
standing
now,
there. holding it like a microphone, and all those other factors that come into it.
Right. So here's what I'm getting at. Okay. It costs you how much for a gram of distillate? $100, right?
Yeah, around there. I mean, there's sales. There's days I can get it for 70 or 80.
So let's just say $100. Let's be on the high end.
Okay.
So 2 grams of distillate are 2,000 milligrams of THC. Close enough. 1,900 and change. You know what I mean? If you're at 93%. So you got 930 per, right? So for that $200 in distillate, you now have more available THC for yourself than you do out of that $380 ounce of cannabis. As a matter of fact, if you extend your budget all the way up to that $380, you're now looking at 4 times.
Sir, I will go there next week. Next week, I'm going there, and I'm going to get what you tell me. I'm going to get dabs, like batter or whatever you want me to get, or just distillate. You want me to get the carts of the syringes again? Because I still have 2 of them fuckers sitting right there.
Yeah.
But I need to get high, and I have nothing right now, and I'm not getting high off of that.
You got to get that into the cart. That's all.
Yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out today, but I mean, no, Stack, Mr. Stack over there. How are you? You have a very high tolerance as well, but I have an issue, sir, and I don't know if you have, but I guess you don't but I have an issue. I don't absorb that fat or eat that, whatever. I don't get high off of edibles. But we just talked, if you go back a couple shows to where Little Boxes was on, she taught us how to nano emulsify our own, and I'm going to let Dr. High try to explain it to everybody once he gets back from going potty.
Sorry.
That's okay.
A whiny beast. The dog's driving me nuts. So,
listen, Crystal, I am fat.
I give him a carrot.
I'm a walking ball of jelly. Mayonnaise. I'm a walking jar of mayo. All I eat is fat.
Yeah, you got to decarb that first, Lori. If you just grind it up and put it in brownies, you're throwing away your money.
Oh, that's how we used to do it when we were kids, when we didn't even know. We would when we were trying to make brownies when I was a kid, we just ground up the flour and then cooked it in the brownie mix. And we were like, oh, we're going to get so high. And we wasted an ounce of weed and didn't even get high. I was like, edibles suck. Hi, Sarah.
But see, for you, the thing is, hippie, if edibles don't work for you, then going the distillate route to make edibles is a waste of your money. So you need to consume cannabis in a method that works for you, right? Because edibles don't. I'm just saying when you talk about putting cannabis on the tray and putting it in the oven, right? What you're thinking about, oh my God, that's $380 worth of weed in the oven like that, blah, blah, blah. But really, you don't have to spend that much to get way more benefit. You can actually just switch what you're doing and get a lot more mushrooms. Feel better.
I think I'm going to switch to just mushrooms and get a good trip going every day. And
you got to try them. You got to try them.
I'm not doing anything. It's like I'm home. I'm safe. If I just trip my balls off and hang out with you every day, we'll have fun. I'll be like, oh, look at the pretty colors. No micro dosing, just an eighth a day.
Butter, yeah, exactly.
An eighth a day.
So, Laura, you decarb by putting your oven onto. As Krista would tell you, set your oven to 205 degrees. You grind up your product. You lay it out on the tray in as thin a layer as possible. You put it in the oven for 45 minutes. When you take it out, you then put it into whatever amount of butter is in your recipe for the brownies. Use 25% more weight by butter because some of it's going to get stuck in the stuff itself. You want to have more than less because you'll end up with not enough butter if you use the exact measure. When you're done warming it through in the butter, give it enough time to infuse, maybe 15, 20 minutes in a hot water bath, strain out the plant material, and then use the butter to make your brownies. So it's a little bit of work, but if you do it properly, they're going to be very, very good. Yes.
Brian has a question, but I want to ask a question for some of us who have never decarboxylized before in our own homes. Like some of us who have cleaned pipes in our own homes, and we said, oh, we just boil it in hot water, and then, oh my God, my mom's coming home in 10 minutes, and the house smells like, what the fuck is this?
Well, you don't clean your pipes with hot water because water doesn't do anything.
Back in the day, we used to boil them. I don't know. That's what I did. But now I know about the salt and the other stuff. But listen, what my point is,
a ball cleaner. Your point is, go ahead.
You're getting to be like Curly Kell, not giving me a chance. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Decarboxylizing, does it make the house smell? Do you smell weed throughout the house? Like if my mom's coming home, am I dead?
Yeah.
So it's something that you have to worry. You have to worry. Sorry, Curly Kell, I had to use you as an example.
Yeah, your house, you'll smell it.
Yeah, so that's something like Kyle, if the landlord's upstairs, you might not want to be decarboxylized.
Yeah, Crystal's right. It's not really strong, and it's a bit of a different odor. You can tell that it's weed, but it doesn't smell like burning weed. It smells more like a dampness. It's like a damp weed. I don't know. It's hard to describe. It's a little bit different.
I'll tell you what it smells like. Wait a minute. I'll tell you what it smells like. It smells like the weed tastes when you smoke it out of a freaking vaporizer. A dry herb vape.
How you doing, Matt? Nice to see you.
Oh my goodness, I don't like that taste. I had a beautiful dry herb vape. When it came out, I was like, oh yeah, I got the best one on the market, man. This is gonna be great. I got home. I put my first little, I ground it up, even though I don't like to grind. I ground it up. I put it in there, and I felt like I wasted weed. It was just like, I'm not getting any hits. I'm barely blowing out any smoke. I'm like trying to get smoke to come out. I'm like holding my breath to get that little extra lung smoke that you can hold your breath from smoking all your life, and you hold it.
Right.
I'm trying to get that to come up so I feel like I'm catching a buzz. And then it tasted like shit. And then I had to dump it out and throw it out. And I'm like, oh, I could have just smoked that like regular flower, and it would have been beautiful and tasty and nice. So you know what I did is I took that vaporizer thing and I said, whoop, and I put it in the garbage. $75 down the drain. I was like,
wow.
Never again. I said, I don't care if I'll get a cart. And I love the carts, but like I said, they're so fucking convenient that I'm walking around with it, and I'm just sucking.
This is,
I'm sucking on it like it's a pee-pee,
they got a few real benefits to them, and if they're put together in a really proper way, like a good company uses nothing but real stuff and doesn't play around with them, they're really like the best. You know what I mean? Because they're portable, they're discreet, they deliver a good dose, they deliver it rapidly, they're reliable. There's a lot of pluses to them.
That was like 10 years ago, Crystal. I know they're way more expensive now, and it was like a Yocan. It was the top of the line when it first came out.
Yocan has never made a good vaporizer for dry herb, in my opinion.
Well,
Yocan a really good concentrate vaporizer. I think they make some pretty good ones for oils, especially their quad coil quartz wrapped version. I don't remember the actual name of the unit, but I know you can buy the coils. You got to buy extra coils with them. But yeah, they make a good coil one. But when you're talking about dry herb, you're looking at companies like Utilian, like PAX, like Airizer.
I've actually looked at the PAX one a couple times, and I've walked away because I'm just afraid of that horrible taste. I just didn't like it. I don't want, even how you taught me just recently this week when I bought the distillate, and I bought a full gram of distillate and a full gram of RSO, right? RSO,
full spectrum oil.
Live resin. Yeah, live resin, not RSO. Sorry, Rick. Live resin, and the taste of the distillate had that like that terpenes that you told me about, but that's not what I want. Like that RSO, live resin was the taste that I want. That's the taste I want every time I smoke my cart. I want that flour, beefy, ground dirt taste, not that. I don't want to taste berries. I didn't smoke weed that tasted like berries when I was a kid. I don't know.
Well, theoretically, if you were to smoke the same strain out of a vaporizer, a dryer vaporizer, the same strain as the strain that's in your cart of that live resin, the flavor should be very similar to each other. The dryer vaporizer, there'll be a lighter, it'll be a lighter flavor, but it should be along the same profile. It should have a lot of similarities to it.
All right, we had a couple questions in the chat. I want to go back because I saw one that was kind of important. To make sure you mushrooms know. Can you please give me some advice on how to make RSO gummies? Can you give anybody advice on how to give RSO? It's actually, I think it was Brian. Yeah, Brian Jackson's asking up here in the chat.
So it can be done very simply. And if you have access to YouTube, you can Google or YouTube query infused gummy recipe, and they will walk you through the process visually. See, I can tell you what to do. I can talk to you about it, but you're not going to remember very much of what I say. And when it's time to actually do it, I'm not going to be there to get you through the process. And also, I might have a bit of concern over whether teaching people how to do things like this on a platform like this might be okay. So what I will tell you is that on YouTube, you will find people who can teach you how to make infused gummies. And what I would suggest is you watch 3 or 4 different videos and then use the one that makes the most sense to you. Put it on your phone and refer to it. Let it play. Pause it. Do the step by step, and follow that process, and you should have success. In my opinion, the absolute easiest way for you to understand how it's done. The only thing I can say is you want to make sure that you get a very good mix. Make sure that you use a whisk. Make sure that you distribute that RSO as evenly as possible inside your mixture. That way you can count on your dosing being equivalent between units. So, yeah. Acceptable?
Yeah, dry beans, right, Crystal? That's what it tastes like. It doesn't taste good. I don't like it. I'm still going. No. She said, I think the dry vaporizer. All right. I think Kyle wanted to know something that's going to keep you awake. You want a sativa, buddy. You always want a sativa if you're looking for alertness and awake.
Yep. Try the Pineapple Express we talked about earlier.
I found a picture of
Pineapple Express. You found a picture of what?
On Facebook yesterday of some good old brickweed. Oh my God. I saved it. I don't know how to find it and show you, but it's just this block and it's cut and you can see the seeds and the sticks and the stems.
Oh, yeah.
And I just remember getting that shit when we were kids. Oh, and being so devastated. You're like, you didn't have any say. Like, we didn't have say at 18 and 19 years old. No. You got what you got. And if
that's what came.
And if you fucked with the guy, you were dead. You were always nervous about whoever with this guy. I mean, unless it was a friend, but if you were just getting it from that neighborhood guy, I used to have to walk across the street to this weird biker guy, man. He lived upstairs and he was just weird, and he was creepy. But he sold good weed, and I would always have to go. I'd call him, and then I'd have to walk across the street. He lived across the, a couple doors down, and I'd knock on his door. And he'd always make me come up into his house and be, quiet. And he's always looking out the window. And I'm like, this is fucking crazy. I live 2 doors away, man. Just give me my fucking weed.
Sounds like you were selling weed to afford cocaine.
I don't know. Yeah, he was doing whatever he was doing. I was just getting my weed and getting the fuck out. But he always want to sit down and smoke and hang out. No, you can't leave too quick, man. The cops will be here watching us. And I'm like, you're scaring the shit out of me, bro. I don't want to be sitting here smoking with you if the cops are watching us. I want to get the fuck out of here. Just give me my
That was
shit.
the early days.
Oh my
That
God.
was the early days. Like, it was all coming from other sources, right? They had to figure out how to get it in. I remember seeing it in the big cans, like the big cans you would buy, like of pineapple or something like that.
Sauce
and you'd open up the can, and it was all super compressed and packed, and it would peel apart like
the old stories of the cars with it stuffed in their tires and shit, and they'd be getting pulled over and cutting open the tires and finding bricks and bricks of either weed or other stuff. I don't remember the whole story.
I don't know when like real commercial, let's call it commercial, cultivation began around me. In the U.S. and in Canada in general, like when people actually started planting marijuana to sell. I don't really know when that happened, but I would imagine it was probably in the early 70s. They started to domestic production, let's call it, of recreational cannabis.
I'll tell you a story.
I remember being 17 years old, 18 years old, going to a farm in the wintertime to pick up from somebody, and it was all compressed in bales, and we had to use a bandsaw to cut. It was frozen. It was in a barn. It was
all right,
frozen.
Fungi, we'll see you later, Fungi. Sorry, I hate cutting you off to talk to the chat, but I feel like if we don't talk to them as often as we have to, then they don't stick around, so we gotta show them appreciation, or they're like, we're just talking to each other, But I want to tell you a story. All right, so I'm sitting on my front stoop in the front of my house, and we have a very major highway, not a highway, but a major road, very well-traveled road. Lots of cars all the time, lots of accidents right on my corner, because you come up over the hill, and then my road was like a divided road. So you go up one side, you go around a circle, you come down, and you're at the highway, and then you go across it, and you go down one side, you come back up on the other side, and so it was like, well, no, it's like two little islands in the middle of the road, one-way roads, So anyway, we were sitting out on my front step, me and my little buddy Jay. He's like 12 or 13, I'm 14. We're sitting out on the steps, and all of a sudden a car accident happens. It's this guy. He's flying down the road on a motorcycle, and he hits the side of a car, and he goes woo over the air, in the air, and lands on my neighbor's front lawn, and his motorcycle's still there in the middle of the road. So Jay and I are the only ones that really happened to see it, besides the people that were involved in the accident. So Jay and I go running over to dude who's laying on the ground. We're like, dude, are you all right? And he's like, yeah, man, take this. And he hands us it had to have been a half a pound of weed that he pulled out of his fucking crotch. And he's like, get out of here, man. And I'm like, dude, your leg is broken in half. The bone is sticking out. And he's like, I don't care, man. Go. Get out of here before the cops come. And I'm like, all right.
This stuff. Yeah.
So,
exactly.
but we're young, so we're not, and I know what it is, and Jay knows what it is, but we're not even thinking. So we're like, oh my God, we're freaking out. This kid's leg is sticking up, the bone, his thigh bone is out his leg here, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, dude, your leg is fucked. And he's like, just get the weed out of here. So we start to take a walk back towards my house. Well, I'm still looking at the dude. My buddy Jay starts to walk away with it. Some other guy comes up to Jay and's like, yo, give me that. That's my buddy. I'll take that. And my buddy Jay gave it to him. And I was like, you dick. That was just some other guy who said, I'll take that. And he gave him the fucking half a pound of fucking weed. I was so pissed. I was like, you could have had weed forever.
Yeah, not really forever, unfortunately. But
but at that time, at 14, that was like a lot of weed. We were like, holy shit. My man pulled it. I don't know if he even had a pee-pee, because there was no room for it in there, because he pulled it out of his crotch. And it was, he was wearing this is back in the early 80s. So he had cut off jean shorts on, fringy shorts on, and no shirt.
I don't remember having that accident.
It sounded like you. It kind of looked like
you.
You.
It sounds like my life.
a little more hair on his head, but besides that, he kind of looked like you. I got to do a commercial. Well, we might as well just go until the 12 o'clock time, and then I'll do the commercial.
Yeah.
What's your plan today?
I just gotta work on this Etsy business. I got so many images I want to get up, and I just got to get it done, right? I put out a new blog post today for anybody who's interested over on DoktorHigh.com.
Right there, Dr. High.
Yeah. Got a new post today, so you might find it interesting. We talked earlier about this new drug, Kush.
Yeah, did you look it up?
So
it's like a synthetic or something. I didn't. It wasn't really a story. All it said was that it was bad. Yeah, they just said it was bad.
In Africa. Yeah, it's in Africa. So. Kush, cheap new illegal drugs ravaging communities in Sierra Leone. So, yeah, that's what that's about. Now, if you want to do a commercial, go ahead and do one.
All right. We're going to run a commercial.
12:15.
All right.
Right now, our country feels
commercial.
there's a place where people are coming together.
I got to tell you, I was nervous to talk to someone so different than me.
Me too, but I'm glad we are.
Love Has No Labels and One Small Step are helping people with different political views, beliefs, and life experiences come together through conversation, and it feels good.
Wow, your story is so...
Interesting?
Yeah.
When people actually sit down, talk, and listen to one another, they can break down boundaries and connect as human beings. At lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep, you can listen to amazing, life-changing conversations and find simple tools to start a conversation of your own.
I know one thing. This conversation gives me hope.
It gives me a lot of hope, too.
Take a step toward bringing our country and your community together by having the courage to start a conversation at lovehasnolabels.com/onesmallstep. A message from StoryCorps, Love Has No Labels, and the Ad Council.
People do some pretty cool things in their 40s and 50s. Why should saving for retirement be any different? I mean, they go back to college.
That's very exciting.
Learn new instruments. Start skateboarding.
Whoa!
Okay, maybe that one's not for everybody, but saving for retirement is. With aceyourretirement.org, you can get on track with your retirement savings no matter your age. Just have a 3-minute chat with Avo, the friendly digital retirement coach from AARP. You'll get personalized recommendations based on your input that are easy to understand and work with your lifestyle. It's quick, easy, and free. Plus, it's sponsored by AARP, so you know they got your back.
Woohoo! Gnarly move, Dad.
Thanks, sweetie.
So wherever you are in your retirement savings journey, head to aceyourretirement.org and start chatting with Avo today. That's aceyourretirement.org. A message from AARP and the Ad Council.
I just want to give a huge shout out to Chuck over at Collins Painting LTD. You can find them over on Facebook. They're in Ellensville, New York. Wow, what a great team over there. Really amazing, and always supporting us here over at WTHC. Say bye-bye to bottled water. Holistic Health Water has certified medical-grade water ionizers that make 7 types of water, including healthy alkaline. There's a 5-micron filter that lasts up to a year, and each machine lasts 25 to 30 years. Simply attach to your faucet or install under your sink. Even get a mineral spa unit for your shower. Go to ownyourwater.org to get a free ebook. Plus, pay for any machine in full and get an extra filter free. Change your water and change your life. Ownyourwater.org.
Hey guys, you got the hippie here. I just wanted to take a minute to give a big shout out to all my sponsors. This song got me in trouble the last time,
and all the other
because you can hear it in the background.
Constantly.
And they took it down. I don't know why. Fuck them.
Thank you.
Fuck you. I mean Facebook. I won't let it play all the way to the end.
Badger Heart Puppetry.
Right.
Badger Heart Puppetry. If you need some kick-ass puppets, contact Thorge at 1-636-234-1535. He has all your puppet needs. He can fix puppets, build puppets, custom-made puppets. He has puppets off the rack for cheap prices. Contact Storage today at 1-636-234-1535 or on TikTok or Facebook at Badger Heart Puppetry. He also makes LARPing items too.
WTHC, we're back. It's the hippie and Dr. High. We're hanging out, talking medical marijuana, talking medical mushrooms, talking the whole sort of shit. What's up, dude?
It's freezing up from time to time.
Yeah, we're gonna work on that.
So I'm just scrolling back. What do I think of green crack? I really liked it when it first time I tried it was probably like 2014 or something like that. I liked it. I thought it was fine, and I've tried it several times since. It's all right. Yeah, Crystal's talking about Blue Dream, both nice. Pineapple Express. I saw that. What got delivered with in the mail? I saw the Kyle asked, "What does Pineapple Express test like?" Should test around Pineapple Express around 18% THC and
I think he meant taste.
Terpene range. What's that?
I think he meant taste, like.
Oh, it's got a limonene, caryophyllene, and osamine. So
citrusy.
Find a citrusy, peppery flavor.
It doesn't taste like pineapples, Kyle.
No, not particularly. Crystal, no, I didn't see your muscle cream today. Where did you post about it? I haven't come across the post yet. But that's really cool. New products coming to market. That's Master Rochi's Garden. For you guys who got beards or muscle creams or whatever, he's got a great line of products there.
You know,
really
you and I are
variety.
dumbasses. We're dumbasses. I'm just going to tell you because Crystal got here fairly early and we could have brought her up. And again, we're thinking about it at the end of the show again.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We are dumbasses. She got here early.
We're dumbasses. It's just that we're, habitual cannabis users.
We're stoned.
Yeah, Kyle's been sitting on that Skywalker Kush waiting for the weekend, eh? It's here. Weekend's here.
Kyle's very good about it because he works a lot during the week, so he doesn't smoke during the week. He only smokes when he's off on the weekends. So, he's got a lot of his own, issues from his accident and stuff. So he needs to, have his functions going at top speed when he goes to work. And they're very cool at his job. He works for a school. He's got a great job.
Yeah. For me, I'm the same way. If I'm employed by somebody to work for money, I don't get high at work. You know what I mean? They're for my intellect, so I'm not going to get high at work, and I'll get high outside of work. When I work for myself,
I'm not going to lie. I will get high on the way to work. I will get high on the way to work, and then I will work all day without getting high, and then I will go home and get a very high. That's how I usually did it. But now, for the last 7 or 8, 10 years, I've been pretty much working for myself. So now I don't know how it would be for me to go back to a regular job where I wouldn't be able to get high.
Yeah. We shout out Master Rochi's products, Crystal. We've got no problem with that. I think your products are probably pretty good. Unfortunately, I never had a chance to try them because I'm on the other side of the Iron Curtain here in Canada. But no problem there. Duct tape. I never even heard of duct tape, Kyle. Never heard of that strain.
I think he's smoking duct tape.
That's funny. Oh, nice.
Infused lollies.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you do as a job, right? When I worked for
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say when I worked at with the wholesale company, selling all the products, 420, we worked from 9 till 6, but at 420, everybody was allowed just to go and have their smoke break. Not smoke all day long, but 420, puff up a joint. By the time you came back to the job, it was 5 o'clock. You prepare the end of your day. You do what you got to do to
get the hell out.
Things up. But it was nice, right? And it was culture, and probably one of the best cultures I ever worked in. I mean, that was a fantastic place to work. Really great people own it. the Manila family, talented people, really nice people, and inhalation and preposition was phenomenal companies. I may actually even go see them if I go back to Quebec and get back to Quebec. I might actually go have a chat with them and see if there's some way we can have some sort of collaboration doing something. I don't know what yet, but we'll figure it out.
Sounds good to me. What else?
It is the dream to work for yourself, Doug. The thing is, as long as you work for other people, you'll make money, but you'll never make wealth. You know what I mean? It's just too difficult to do it. The last few days here in Canada, they've been on the national news, they've been running a story that compares what it costs to rent a 2-bedroom apartment in Canada as opposed to what the minimum wage is. Now, the highest minimum wage anywhere in the country is about $16 an hour. But in most provinces across Canada, you need to be earning between about $24 and $30 an hour to be able to afford an apartment. Now, what about a car payment? Now, what about food? Now, what about cell phone? What about all internet? What about all these others? You know what I mean? Like, there's not good. So you got to work for yourself. And what you really got to try and do is build yourself multiple streams of revenue. You got to build a brand for yourself, and you have to find ways to monetize it. Dr. High is a passion thing for me. That's where it started out. But I love what I do, and I want to be able to do it all the time. And to be able to do this full time, it has to have a business element. It has to have an income stream for it, right, to support it. Because if I'm in the workforce, I'm making $60,000, $80,000 a year. It's necessary. I'm 10 years from retirement. I need to earn money. But I think I can benefit more people as Dr. High and running Dr. High and building this out than I can do in most jobs, right? So working for yourself is really I don't want to, my goal isn't to become rich and wealthy. If it happens, I'm not going to complain about it. But my goal is to be able to continue along this path and be self-sustainable, down the road. So,
I kind of agree with you. I mean, my goal is to, I would love to become rich and famous, but if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with it because I was okay with it before. Right. Well, I wanted to be a comedian all my life. That was my goal.
Okay.
But my anxieties and my would never allow it.
Hey, that's a tough job, man. I tell you, you're exposed and raw out there as a comedian.
Oh, I know.
And you're immediately. I've been to some
not necessarily just a comedian, but an actor or something to that effect. But I was born ugly, and so that didn't work. And so then
you were born with the perfect face for radio, just like me.
Right. So, then I started with this puppet thing, and I wasn't having any intentions on being on the radio at all. I was just planning on being a puppet on TikTok. And then everything kind of just keeps falling into place. And people say, you got the perfect face for radio. You have actually a decent voice for the radio. And it's just everything, and then you coming along and
I'm thinking about using AI to animate myself from 20 years ago when I was still young and handsome. Thinking about, now everybody will think it's the same voice, the same guy, but 25 years younger.
25 years younger.
Then we could have a lot of fun with that. Then everybody would think it was my son. Because I'll tell you what, man, that boy looks like his father did back in those days. Like
my
Jesus.
son scares the shit out of me because he looks just like my brother. And I'm like, Mrs. Hippie, what did you do? Because he's skinny. He's
wife, Sean, messaged me on the website, Sean, or in Messenger, or
Dawn, Messenger. I don't know.
Is the last name Harris also?
Maybe not.
Yeah, wouldn't we all, Crystal?
Right. I'd like to just
wouldn't we all?
1,000 pounds. I'm a fucking handsome fella. I'm just fat.
Yeah, so they don't talk too much about this drug Kush, so I wouldn't even Give it a second.
Well, I'm a little pissed that it disappeared. And maybe it disappeared because they were like, this doesn't even belong in the news, and they took it down.
Well,
but it
yeah,
was,
you know,
it was scary. I read the little bit that I read, and I was like, damn, that's not good. We don't need another fucking drug that kind of looks like weed and smokes like weed that's gonna fuck
yeah, but
people up.
they got some crazy ones out there that are like, what do they call it? Crocodile in Russia and those places. Yeah, like there's some bad stuff out there. It's horrible. It's horrible what they sell as drugs. You know?
Yeah. Jerks.
So, yeah. What are you gonna do? Not much you can do about it. You know, you got to guide your own life, right? Do your own thing. What
could be in your
I'm
span?
trying to figure out, how did she send me the message? Like,
Right,
an email?
Crystal. That shit scared the shit out of me too, though, man. I remember the day I tried that for the first time, and I was like, nope, never again. That's pretty much what put me to the never buying anything from a gas station or a smoke shop or a vape shop, because I just feel like it's not regulated and you don't know what it is. That shit scared the crap out of me, that spice shit, man. I was not right. I mean, I was fine. I was high, but it was a different high. Not one that I was interested in. Too speedy, too
yeah, I
rushy.
just forgot. I forgot what I was looking for.
Dawn, dumbass, Dawn.
I'm just trying to figure out where the message went because I don't see it in my email.
I'm only kidding. He said on Facebook.
Oh, on Facebook.
Yeah, he wrote that.
Well, not in my messenger. Unless not in Messenger. I don't have it. Yeah, I don't see it anywhere, Sean. If she could direct message me at David Johnson, maybe I'll get it because I do not see that message anywhere, and I'm looking at it right now. So yeah, I just didn't receive it. Oh, maybe she put it to my. Okay. Maybe it went to Dr. High. That's why they're separated, right?
My shit's all so fucked up. I can't. I'm like, I don't know. I've cleaned it up. I figured out a bunch of it. Yeah, I got to stretch every once in a while. You sit too long, your body starts to hurt. I don't have any medicine right now. I got to go steal my freaking nectar collector back from my son. I haven't gotten high. I smoked a small bong hit this morning, and then I ate a piece of bread with some distillate on it that did nothing.
Why can't Kelly share her post? Why is she in the Facebook jail? I got it, Sean. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah,
you're in Hamilton. That's right.
I'm in Facebook jail too. 6 days. Fuck
Are
it.
you?
Yeah, because you have such beautiful art, and I feel like I need to share it to everybody in all my groups. And then they say you shared.
Okay.
They say you shared.
Yeah, I got it, Sean. Dawn says that she listens, so I guess she's okay with me talking about this situation. Okay. So basically, Dawn's tried CBD pills for inflammation, and it hasn't helped. She's also tried hash oils, mushrooms, acid. Nothing has worked for me. I didn't even get high. But weed gets me high in joint form only. I have pain in my hips and lower back. Nothing seems to help for the pain and inflammation.
I might have to take you up on that, Curly Kel.
Not been able to smoke as much. So, have you tried to consume, Dawn, in other ways? You've tried edibles. Have you tried to smoke distillates from the carts? Because you're in Canada, so you do have access to decent, clean products that you don't have to be concerned with the product itself. I know Ontario is a little more expensive than they are in Alberta and some of the other provinces, but it's still quite reasonable here. So have you tried to use, so Sean says yes. So tried many different products, and there's been no positive experience. Any feeling at all from edibles, or simply just nothing? Has anything that Dawn's tried worked in any way, shape, or form at any particular time? Let's start there. Has she ever had any success with a cannabis product alleviating some of her discomfort?
Crystal's shouting out over here. She needs a good CBN, need a good full spectrum with CBG in conjunction with THC.
Yeah. Nothing at all. So nothing at all means nothing at all has worked. Yeah, see, that's why we need to be able to bring people up. Hey,
I'm
Sean,
happy to send Sean an invite. Hold on.
how would you feel? Well, today we're pretty much pressed out of time. Would Don be willing to come on and we could actually have a conversation? It's so much easier if we can have conversation in real time, right? Because the messaging is delayed. I'm not really sure because I say a couple of things and there's the response, obviously, but you're not able to keep up as quickly with the talking side of things, right? So it's really, really hard to get the right interpretation. So it could probably be a whole lot more helpful if we could do this.
Yeah, Sean will be here tomorrow. I'm not worried about that. We will
Well,
bring Sean. How about this?
Can we do this on Monday?
Yeah, that's what I meant, Monday. I'm sorry, Monday. Dawn, are you going to live till Monday?
And we'll have Dawn on, and we'll discuss. We'll discuss what she's tried, what she hasn't tried, and okay. So why don't we set that up, Sean, for Monday morning?
Why don't we set it up as a little bit of a show? We can do a couple people. You know, we'll bring up Sean and Dawn, and if anybody else has any medical
everybody wants
condition,
to come on and talk about their situation and what we can just try to figure out, then yeah, we're happy to do it. It's what we're here
spend
for.
a decent amount of time with each of them for sure. Yeah, that'll be great.
So
And then
you'll need to send Hippie, Sean. You'll need to send Hippie a message on Messenger so that he can send you an invite.
We're already friends.
Yeah, so
yeah, we're friends. And anybody who ever plans on joining us or wants to join us, I guess you got to send me an invite to my Facebook here, and then I'll accept you, and then write a message saying I'd like to talk to Dr. High or something. I got a question that I'd like to join and talk to Dr. High.
This show would be phenomenal if we could use 2 hours a day to speak with people face to face like that. So I could actually go through a cannabis coaching regimen with them and help them find the right path, right? Because I can look during this 2 hours, we can look at their local dispensaries. We can look at particular products. We can discuss.
No, Sean's in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada.
Your journey, right? So this could be.
You're the boss. I'm just here for the good looks. I told you.
Well, I'm just saying that this could really be a great direction for this opportunity we have here, because that would provide us with the greatest opportunity to actually do something effective for people.
Help,
right? Is one-on-one conversation,
right?
So that they can, so they can take that information. But the other benefit to it is they don't have to remember everything we discuss, because they can always go back to that video segment which they were a part of and use that to make their decisions going forward. So they have a video record of the
and a podcast, and yeah. You're right.
Yeah, so there are. You know what I mean? So it could be pretty beneficial, I think. And I'd love to see it end up taking that kind of shape where we can have the people on and actually do live type coaching sessions, right? With individuals.
From what I understand now, Dr. High, from what I understand now that I've upgraded, we can be in 2 boxes and I can have up to 12 people in here with us. It's
hard to help 12 at a time. What we really need is just a.
But I'm saying, like, we can do whatever we need to do. Like now we've upgraded. We also have we have an extra 250 viewers who will see this every day on StreamYard, their own little place where they stream their shows.
Nice.
So that's another, I don't know if they join us here or if they just
Well,
see it on
the longer we stay committed to it, and the longer we're at this, the better it's going to be, because we're going to learn our ways. We're going to have more people learning that we're here, and there's a place that they can come and safely discuss their situation, and hopefully find some answers to their questions. And I mean, it can be a lot of things. We can look at your plants. We can look at your preparation methods for making your own medicine at home.
And obviously, we're not going to shout out where you live and your home address when you're showing us.
Absolutely not. And even if you want to talk about your medical situation, we don't have to talk about your actual diagnosis. We don't need to know exactly. You can just say, listen, I suffer from nausea, or I have, headaches as a result, or I have some chronic pain issue, or I have, arthritis in my hands, and we can take it from there. We don't need to dive deep into your personal business, and we don't really want to do that. And I can't really diagnose anything anyway, but we can talk about what cannabis potentially can do. We can look at certain strains that can be beneficial or have been reported to be beneficial for the sort of things you deal with. We can look at your local dispensary to see what products you should be looking at buying. So I think there's a lot of things that we can actually do here for the people who think that there could be
and like I said, sir, from day one, it doesn't have to be 2 hours. If you want it to be 3 hours, if you want it to be 4 hours, I don't care. You know what I mean?
That's all going to be dependent on where it goes and other commitments too, right? Because I got
absolutely, but I mean, we can, and then we can start taping these as well. I haven't even started taping. I mean, I have them, but I can tape them and play them again at a different time of day. At midnight every night, I could play our show again on the radio.
100%. I mean, that's a good way to do it also, right? To give opportunity to people to see it a second time.
They can't see it at 7 o'clock. Like right now on the West Coast, where technically it's just people are just starting to get out of their bed, waking up with their morning wood.
It's just about awareness.
Not ready to talk about weed.
Like people get there as I'm seeing. I think that we're seeing more people already.
A lot of different names, new names. I love it.
Yeah, that some of the people who are out there, I think, administer groups and things like that. And if they're okay with, letting people know, because we're not trying to step on anybody's toes, but I think we're able or interested in doing something a little bit different than what you're seeing most of the streaming on Facebook do. And we really, really want to interact with the people, and we really want to help them understand cannabis on a different level. We can laugh about the stoner stereotypes, and we've both been there. We've both been the stereotype. We've lived it. But we're older now, and we've evolved a little bit. And cannabis has now shown that it has way more potential than just a party thing.
People still call me a puppet, though. I'm still living that stereotype. Thank you so much, Crystal, for sharing it. We greatly appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Crystal. Thank you so much.
It's been a great show. I love you guys all. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. It's already 17 minutes after. I got to do another commercial. Time flies when Dr. High comes in. I don't know why. It just goes so fast. I want to talk about there's so much more. Damn puppets. Whoa.
Damn puppets.
I have friends.
Hey, Master Rochi's character from Master Rochi's Garden, that would make an excellent puppet.
There we go.
Right off the bottle, he would make a phenomenal.
I have a friend that would be happy to do it. His name is Badger Heart Puppetry. He makes fantastic. He didn't make me, but he makes tons and fabulous puppets. He's fantastic.
Yeah.
Cool. I guess we got to call it. I don't want to. I want to hang out with you all day. I'm going to move to Canada.
I know.
I'm moving to Ontario.
I got a lot to do. And then I'm moving to Quebec. So
I know. I'm going to move to Montreal. I'm getting a place right on St. Catherine Street. Don't tell Mrs. Hippie what happens on St. Catherine Street.
Yeah, no doubt, right?
We're going to get a pad upstairs of one of them clubs.
I don't know if it's the same way anymore. I think that industry is.
I guess it doesn't really matter because I'm over 18
died off, right? I think the internet did serious harm to that industry.
Oh, yeah. I'm over 18 now anyway. It doesn't matter. I can go anywhere. I can go anywhere now. Anyway, I guess I got to do a commercial. We got a 420 song coming up. We got to do a commercial. Dr. High,
right,
I want to thank you so
let me
much
say-
for being here.
Thank you for having me. I love being here. It's starting to feel like home. I enjoy this couple hours a day to interact with everybody and shoot the breeze and talk about our favorite plants. I want to thank everybody for spending time with us today. It's greatly appreciated. And yeah, we will see you all on Monday at 10 a.m. That'll be phenomenal. Oh, I'll let you know.
You froze, of course.
I'm not going to be show.
When? I didn't hear anything.
At 10, I think on Tuesday. Maybe we'll do a noon to 2.
Okay.
If that works with you.
Anytime you want.
We'll still do the show, but we'll be off by a couple hours because I have something I need to attend to that morning, and I won't be back in time.
No problem.
But yeah, that's that. So have a great weekend, everybody.
The only time we can't do a show, sir, is from 11 o'clock on the East Coast until like 1 o'clock in the morning when the fungi is on, because that's his time slot.
You'll never see me wanting to do a late night show.
All right, so me neither. So
listen, I want to bring out the old Barry White voice and play the.
I might. We could talk dirty sex stuff at nighttime, Dr. High. Talking like Dr. Ruth. You're Dr. Ruth, Dr. High.
Yeah, Dr. Ruth. Well, I'll tell you one thing. For those of you that don't know,
it's time for you to take the penis and put it into the vagina.
Adult pleasures. Anyway, have a great weekend, everybody. Be safe.
All right. I love you guys. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Peace. We'll see you Monday.
Peace.